Yep, for this week's main topic, we couldn't be more excited about Disney's newest ship that is debuting in just over a month from now as we're recording this episode. And it's thrilling to us. And we're going to talk all about this ship that calls out to us in various ways, right, Michelle?
Yeah, and it's one that really has so many more unique aspects to it. And we're excited to be delving into them.
Yep. And we will be delving into a lot of the stuff. Not everything, because I don't even think we know everything yet, but we'll get into everything that we know to this point yep, that's right. Your destiny awaits. Chart a course for magic, mystery, and unforgettable memories aboard the Disney Destiny. We'll be talking a lot about this beautiful, beautiful new ship on today's episode. So meet the Disney Destiny. Its maiden voyage is November 20th. As we mentioned, we're recording this on October 5th. So a month and a couple weeks away, about 6 weeks away or so. She'll be the lucky number 7 ship in the Disney Cruise Line fleet, which is really cool. Of course, she is one of the Wish class ships. Her sister ships are the Disney Wish and the Disney Treasure. And what we've noticed so far from reports, now we've been aboard the Disney Wish. We have not been aboard the Disney Treasure yet, but we've talked with people that have. And to this point, from the Wish, which, let's just admit it, there were a few issues with that ship, and we found it as well when we sailed aboard her. To the Treasure, which everybody says has been a huge leap forward in that class. We can only think that is probably going to be the case as well with the Disney Destiny, Michelle.
Yeah, it's great that Disney Cruise Line really is listening to their guests and making adjustments, pivoting, as you may say, to make things as best, or I should say, as spectacular as they can.
Yeah. Very, very exciting. And we think that, that's going to continue with this ship, that it's even going to, as much as everybody loves the Disney Treasure, this one may take the next step. Of course, it all depends on what you like. Every ship, some people are going to always love the classic ships. We love the classic ships. Some people are going to love the Dream class ships. Some people may, maybe there's something about the Wish that, we'll call out to you. The Treasure, of course, but now the Destiny we think is going to be super, super special. So it's going to home port in Port Everglades, which, if you don't know, that's Fort Lauderdale. That's where it's going to be sailing mostly out of. That port is really, really cool and really, really convenient. Not as convenient if you're planning a Walt Disney World vacation to go along with it, but if you're just looking to do a cruise, there's only one other port that I can think of that has an airport so close to it that it's really like a simple ride share away.
Yeah, super fast, like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can actually, from the ship, watch planes land and take off because the airport is right there. San Diego is the other one that's like that. The airport from San Diego. Yeah, I don't think you can do this because there's more of a working port there. At Port Everglades, you can't walk to it from the airport. San Diego, you could actually, if you really wanted to, you could grab your luggage and walk over to the port where you catch the ship. But this is the next best thing to that. It is really, really convenient. So the voyages are mostly going to be 4 and 5 nights. There are a couple 7 nights that you can have aboard her. That's what we have. Originally, we booked a 5 night, and then the 7 nights became available, and we shifted to that. That's why we're sailing a little bit later in the year aboard her, but we couldn't be more excited about it. Destinations are mostly the Bahamas and the Western Caribbean. Again, those 7 nights, they're going to do Eastern and Western Caribbean as well. So there are other options out there, but mostly Bahamas, Western Caribbean for those 4 and 5 night sailings. And of course, you can always do a back-to-back. We've done that back-to-back 4 and 5 night combination for a nice 9 night sailing, getting a little bit of the Bahamas, getting a little bit of the Western Caribbean. That's always fun as well.
Sure. I mean, one, you really don't have to repack or travel again. I mean, you're just getting off the ship for, a few moments to, meet the qualifications for, what's required of the port, but also that you're not as stressed out if you miss a show or you didn't get to try everything during the first sailing. It's a second chance during that second sailing. So it really makes it fun.
Yeah, I think that's something we may do eventually again. We have not done the 4 and 5 night back-to-back for a while, but it is a fun way to do it. And back-to-back sail, there's something amazing about on that day where you get to port and people are getting off the ship. And yes, you have to get off the ship too, just for immigration purposes. Right. But you're the first ones back on board the ship, and you're you have the ship to yourself for an amount of time,
Yeah.
which is pretty incredible. So that's really fun as well. So if you've never done it back to back, and you have the time, think about doing it because they're really fun. And yes, it gives you opportunity to do more aboard the ship because you're like, as Michelle was mentioning, maybe that show you can pick on a night, you're going to see it on the second cruise. So this night we're going to hit up a Palo dinner,
Right.
or we're going to hit up let's be Enchante on this ship dinner, or whatever it might be. Or maybe you love a show so much you want to see it twice.
Exactly.
And that's your opportunity. So all those things. So one of the most exciting differences about this ship is its theme. I mean, this is there have been kind of themes on all these ships, but this is like the first one that I think they really sunk into the theme, which is heroes and villains, not verses, although I have a feeling there'll be a little of that going on board. For heroes and villains. We're going to delve a little bit more deeply into that here in a little bit, but let's see what Disney Cruise Line has to say about. They say, quote, aboard the Disney Destiny, you will encounter a fearsome crew of formidable foes throughout the ship, including Maleficent, Dr. Facilier, Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, Mr. Smee, and Oogie Boogie, and some of Disney's most mischievous and misunderstood personalities like Captain Jack Sparrow and Bruno, but we don't talk about him. And of course, one of our favorite anti-heroes, sort of villains, Loki. You'll have the chance to interact with these villains, rogues, and mischief makers during all the new events and activities, from a frighteningly fun dance party in Oogie Boogie's shipboard lair to interactive Disney trivia that often gets interrupted by a cast of Disney villain. What? That's happening?
I know, right?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's exciting stuff.
I know. I mean, we all love Disney trivia on the cruise ships, and people, I don't want to say they take it serious, but everybody is vying to win for sure. And I just can't imagine how hilarious it's going to be to have a Disney villain happen to show up.
Right.
During that,
Well, let's just say you're doing trivia in, say, the Sanctum. And then here comes Loki in, and of course, he's going to want to take over this thing and tell everybody how he's right and everybody else is wrong.
I know.
That's to be fantastic.
I wonder if we can get him on our team. I also love the idea of the Oogie Boogie shipboard layer, it's going to be like a dance party kind of thing, that they're going to have a pop-up show type of thing. But cool. I know it's, you rarely get to see Oogie Boogie out, especially outside of Halloween, but to think that he's going to be kind of one of those villains that's more routinely showing up on the ship, and that'll be a blast.
This whole thing, amazing. Everything I hear about it, it makes me that much more interested on sailing aboard her. Can't wait when everybody gets their first opportunity to sail aboard it. So, Michelle, what do you think sets this ship apart?
Well, I mean, they are keeping the things that people love about a Disney Cruise Line, like the rotational dining, where you get to go to each of the restaurants, but with the same serving team. So they get to know you throughout the cruise. Obviously, Broadway style shows, great kids and teen areas and activities throughout, as well as adult activities. But there are, like you said, they have really embraced this theme of heroes and villains. And I cannot think of any of the other ships that really have embraced that throughout all of the aspects of the ship. First and foremost, we talk about the heroes and villains, and it can be found on the throughout the ship. I'm going to talk about that. But one of the things that it makes sense is that if you think about these characters, heroes and villains, destiny is created by their choices and their directions. So it fits the theme of the ship and the name of the ship, right? So let's start looking at some of those, and we'll start with the ship spaces. Okay. And the first off we'll talk about is the Grand Hall, because that's the first space that as you board the ship that you enter. So you really get that immersive nature into this and in that Grand Hall. And we see, of course, the beautiful ship statue of T'Challa from the Black Panther. He's the hero protector. And again, a great way for guests who first coming on to see that hero aboard the ship.
And by the way, what an amazing tribute, to Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
Just to know that there's going to be this statue there in the middle of this beautiful ship. I may break in. I'm not lying here. Not that this should come as a surprise to anybody, because I often break into tears when boarding a Disney cruise ship. But when we step into that grand hall, into that atrium area, and there is this wonderful statue of T'Challa, I'm going to be very emotional. I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm already emotional. I was emotional when I first saw the photo and heard that was going to happen. When I actually get to experience it for myself, all bets are off on how many tissues I'm going to need.
Right?
It's going to be crazy.
I'm totally there with you. Like you said, just boarding. And I don't want to give any spoilers to people who haven't been on a Disney cruise line. But when you board, they do make it very special for each and every family going on. And it always, chokes me up. And like you said, this is going to be great. Now, the Grand Hall, and I know on some of the smaller ships, they call it the atrium or whatever. They've been like this wonderful meeting place, but it's usually just been that kind of like a photo op location. But we saw with the Wish that they really started to use the Grand Hall a little bit more. And people probably have heard, if they haven't been on it, that they have that beautiful kiss goodnight style moment where they have the light show and the Cinderella themed music playing. And, you've probably seen on social media pictures of people just laying on the floor looking up at the grand chandelier. That's really wonderful. On the Treasure, they have the Aladdin theme, and they do a lighting change throughout the day as it becomes nighttime. Well, on the Destiny, they are going to use this space to its fullest. They are really going to be, again, incorporating that theme of villains and heroes. So, for example, some of the things that they're going to offer throughout the cruise on there is the Sounds of Wakanda. And that's going to be a percussion group that's going to be there playing rhythmic type of sounds and doing storytelling and legend sharing of the culture of Wakanda. There'll be other times that Loki will show up, and he'll be on the upper balcony trying to take control of everybody. To me,
it's his glorious purpose. We all know. Yes.
To me, it just, when I heard about that, all I could think about was in the original Avengers movie where he's in New York trying to take control of the crowds and everything. And I just think that can just be spectacular there. Now, we heard on the Treasure, they introduced these traveling storytellers. There's going to be another set of storytellers on the Destiny. It's Zaya and Gamble. And in the Grand Hall, one of their things that they'll be showing up in the Grand Hall will be to do some storytelling there. They'll have an enchanted trunk that reacts to the powers of the Disney villains. Zaya is a fortune teller, and he'll make predictions and have a mysterious book that will share among the guests. And Gamble will conjure adventures and mystifying potions and elixirs to use during his storytelling.
So, one thing I think when we were aboard the Wish is, the Grand Hall, they had a couple things that would happen on the stage, because there is a stage in the Grand Hall of the Wish class ships. And there'd be a couple things that happened there, but we felt like there was kind of a missed opportunity there. The Kiss Goodnight's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But they didn't, while they did use the stage a little bit, it wasn't used. But we've heard aboard the Disney Treasure that they've really taken advantage of that space and elevated your experience of when you're in there and what's going on within that hall to, have some very, very interactive fun in there and storytelling as well. And this sounds like they're continuing that maybe to the next level as well aboard the Disney Destiny.
Yeah. Even Dr. Facilier will be showing up in the Grand Hall. He also is going to have his own makeshift parlor that I guess is going to be kind of a secret location that you might want to try to find. But, he's going to be doing some of his very elaborate parlor tricks and things like that. But it's just really exciting to see that they are bringing the characters into this space and letting people really have another opportunity of really having extra show and getting to see these villains and heroes.
And by the way, if you're on the starboard side of the ship and you're looking for that makeshift area for Dr. Facilier, head over to the port side of the ship because I've heard he has friends on the other side.
Oh, that was good, honey. All right, let's look at, since we're talking spaces, look at the staterooms. And so, and if you're watching on YouTube, we are sharing some, we have a slideshow here that we're sharing some photos of this. And we give examples of a couple of the themes that they have in the rooms. Again, heroes and villains kind of theming. So they have, for example, Hercules, Mulan, and Merida as some of the theming in the artwork in the room. What they have is like, instead of a headboard, they have this enormous art piece behind the bed that will show, and it's really kind of tying in the duality of the journeys these people have, the things of their destiny. And again, just amazing how they've incorporated that detail into the rooms.
Again, we were talking about it. Was it last week? We were talking about how the animation portion of Disney has been much more incorporated in the resorts, and a lot of what is going on in these new resorts or these new refurbishments to resorts. And this goes for Disney Cruise Line as well. The artwork within these cabins over the last few years is again, they're upping their game again. It's phenomenal. And you look at the artwork here on the slide that we're showing, if for those of you watching on YouTube, it's incredible. I mean, for you talking about, we right here, we have Mulan and Hercules. I can't wait to see that in person. I just can't. It's amazing. And knowing what they've been doing recently, I know that this is going to knock it out of the park.
Right. So like on the Wish class, other ships, each room will kind of have their own theme. So you won't see all of them in your room, but you'll get to experience one of them at least in your room. But yeah, the artwork we've seen on the ships is spectacular throughout the ship. And this Destiny will have that as well. But like you said, bringing it into the actual staterooms is really amazing.
For sure. Can't wait to experience that. You get that extra touch of Disney in your stateroom where you're just like, you're there. And every time you go in there, and then there's this amazing stuff from some of the movies that we love, all three of those. And I don't know if there's going to be more, but all three of those that we love. We love Hercules. We love Mulan. We love Brave and Merida. It's going to be amazing. So let's talk about a little bit of the food experiences on board, because it's a cruise. And let's be honest, when you're on a cruise, you're looking for some food, and it's not hard to find on any Disney ship. And this one is included with that. And of course, it'll be the rotational dining that you've grown to love. For those of you who've been on Disney Cruise Line before, if you don't know, you go to 3 different restaurants, essentially, dining places in the evenings for your dinners. But your wait team goes from place to place with you. And this is going to be the same thing aboard this. So it's called rotational dining. There are 3 main themed dining rooms, as on the Wish and the Treasure. One of the main dining rooms is called 1923. It focuses on a lot of nostalgia, a lot of history, a lot of artifacts from Disney's history. Of course, it's named after the original year of the Walt Disney Company, 1923, when that company was formed. And that's why there's all this rich legacy within it. Setting this one apart from the 1923 aboard the Wish and the Treasure is the Destiny's restaurant is going to have a lot of artwork showcasing the tales, as you would expect, of heroes and villains. Think stories like Hercules, we've already talked about, Sleeping Beauty, Big Hero 6, Wreck-It Ralph, more, lots of different, I'm sure there'll be lots of stills, lots of artwork, lots of figurines, all sorts of different things to remember all those amazing, amazing films.
Right. I mean, for people who love like the Disney archives, this setting is spectacular because you do get to have some of those things showcased around the whole dining room.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And I think, as you go through there, you're going to find different things that are going to call out to you. And especially if you love any of these movies,
Mhm.
maybe the one that's near you won't be something you'll enjoy. But get up and walk around on your way to the restroom or whatever,
Mhm.
and take a look around and see what's around you, because there is some phenomenal archival stuff that you're going to be able to track down in there. It's another thing that Disney is doing really well, is working with the Disney archives to try and get some of these things
Right.
into different spaces like that. And again, this sounds like it's going to happen for this. The other dining room now aboard the Wish, they have a dining room focused on Arendelle and
Mhm.
Frozen, and I love that because hashtag real men love Frozen, as we all know. There were some issues with the sight lines for that, but they improved that from what we understand aboard the Disney Treasure and what was it, the Coco. I forget the
Yeah.
name of it, and I
Yeah.
apologize, but it's the Coco dining room, basically focusing on the story of Coco, and everybody loves that. Well, on board the Disney Destiny, we're going to the Pride Lands, the Feast of the Lion King, where guests are going to dine in there, and it's kind of in the round. It's more of a
Mhm.
square or a rectangle, but in the round, around
Mhm.
a stage, where you're going to be taking on this magical musical journey, retelling Simba's story from cub to king, which is going to be fun to hear. I love dinner and a show.
Right.
I'm all about this for sure, Michelle.
And two great examples of heroes and villains come from the Lion King story. So that's amazing theming.
Yep. So in addition to the decor, which is going to be focused on the Pride Lands and Lion King and everything about Africa, they're also going to have a balance of flavors of African cuisines, which,
Yes.
I can't wait to try some exciting, interesting new dishes. We love it when we get to go to Animal Kingdom and some of the fascinating foods, the different types of
Right.
foods you get to experience there. Can't wait to see what they have aboard this ship as they explore. There are going to be new spins on some of Disney Cruise Line's favorite dishes. This is fun. There are a couple drinks coming that we know about that are coming to the Pride Lands Feast of the Lion King. And I'm just going to sing it. Can you feel the rum tonight? Yes.
I love it.
Gotta be some rum. We may see
Bravo.
Jack Sparrow
More.
looking for this drink because this is 7-year-old age rum. Amarula cream liqueur, which is a liqueur from South Africa made with sugar, cream, and the fruit of the African marula tree, mango smoothie mix, and a pinch of cinnamon. Yes, that sounds like a drink I want to try.
Yeah.
For sure. For your people who are looking for the non-alcoholic specialty cocktail on board, well, there's the slimy yet satisfying, which is Sprite infused with lime gelatin and garnished with centipede and worm gummies. That sounds like something the kids are going to absolutely want to enjoy, for sure. So
most definitely.
But the show, the interesting food, can't wait to check that dining out for ourselves multiple times. Or on our 7th day, we're going to get to check it out a couple times.
That's true. That is a good point. And like you said at the beginning, is Disney did listen to see what were some of the issues that people had related to the show with the Frozen show on the Wish, and they've made changes that seems to have been very well received. So I'm glad we're going to be able to experience it even better on the Destiny.
Yeah, very exciting. Very excited to check that out for sure. And I like different foods. I mean, I like traditional. There is homey comfort food that I love, but I love getting to experience new things, new flavors, new spice profiles, and everything. And African cuisine is not something we get a ton of here. Let's be honest.
Right.
So getting the opportunity to experience that aboard the ship, and I know it's going to be mellowed out a little bit because it's trying to feed everybody. But at the same point, I know it's going to be wonderful and delicious and unique and interesting. And that's what I'm excited about.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the third dining room that you get to go to is, they also have one aboard the Disney Wish and the Disney Treasure. It's the World of Marvel. Just like the other two ships, it's this interactive dining experience. Again, dinner and a show focused around the worlds of Marvel. Starring, hey, Rocket and Groot. I mean, come on, some of our favorites for sure from Guardians of the Galaxy. So that'll be fun as well. I don't know if they'll do anything a little different with this show than what they've done on some of the others, but excited to experience it because hey, it's fun and you can wear your Marvel best to this for sure. And why wouldn't you?
Right, exactly. And it again it's a different form of a dinner and a show, but it is still a show, and it will have interactive features, which I know when we did it, and it wasn't with Rocket and Groot, it was Spider-Man and Ant-Man.
Yep.
But it was fun having that interactive feature in
Yep.
there as well.
Can't wait to experience it again, because it was one of our favorite aspects of being aboard the Wish was getting to Worlds of Marvel. We loved our dinner there.
Right,
for sure.
exactly.
For sure. What's next, Michelle?
Well, I mean, you mentioned a little bit about drinks there. So I thought, why don't we look into some of the lounges on the Destiny? And this is where it's so exciting to me.
This is where you'll find us aboard the ship most often.
For sure. So the first up that we'll talk about is the Sanctum. And as the name says, it's inspired by Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange. In fact, it's going to have some artifacts that will really help make that experience for you more immersive into the world. It'll have like the Cloak of Levitation and the spell book from the Library of Kamartaj.
Kamartaj,
yeah. And when we were at Destination D23, they actually created and presented one of the signature cocktails from the Sanctum, and that's the Mirror Dimension. Now it's made with Stoli Elite vodka, lychee, fresh lemon juice, pink peppercorn, and electric dust buzz rock. And it's in a special glass that reacts to touch. And the dust will also have your taste buds tingling a little bit.
I think you're thinking of, what is it, a fuzzy tauntaun?
Yeah,
or whatever,
kind of like
Oga's. Yeah,
right.
You're going to get that experience from that.
That experience on your tongue. But the glass, and how it works with the glass is, if you think of those electric balls that when you touch them, the kind of where the line of the sparks go is towards your fingers. It's that in the glass.
It was pretty crazy to see that Destination D23. I mean, there was another trick that they did that actually we've seen before and we know it, but it's still pretty amazing to experience, especially the first time you experience it. You're like, how is that happening? It's a kind of a levitating drink. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
But that this one, I don't know how it works, but yeah, it's got that. You touch it and it looks like the lightning bolts are coming towards your hands,
right?
Without the actual shock.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see some photos here that show what the Sanctum looks like. I love that they have a lot of booths, areas that are kind of like cozy, and yet they also have some open areas in there as well. But their drinks and how they're presenting their drinks really set it apart as being something special. You're not just going into a lounge, having a simple cocktail. It's the presentation is going to be part of your experience.
Theming throughout, which I love. I'm all about theming. This sticks with the theming of the ship and the theming of these lounges. It's amazing.
Yes. All right. Next up is the DeVille's Piano Lounge. Obviously, with the name, it's a piano bar that is themed after the dastardly, over-the-top villain of Cruella de Vil. And here they're going to have some trendy martinis, some chic mocktails, as well as cocktails, and some fun appearances from time to time of Cruella herself. So I think it's going to make that experience really fun. The nice thing about this, it's also kind of an open area into the Grand Hall. So you can be sitting in the lounge, but still experience some of the sights that may be going on in the Grand Hall at the same time.
Yeah, for another way they've stepped up their game from the Wish to where that kind of piano bar is, and how it's set up to what they've done with the Treasure and now the Destiny again.
Right.
Disney Cruise Line and the Imagineers hearing what people are saying about the ship and taking that to heart and making things better for everybody on board.
Exactly. Before we leave the conversation about Miss DeVille,
she won't let you.
Yeah,
get away from that conversation about Miss DeVille.
Some other fun things that you can experience on board the ship with her is she's going to have her wretched runway. So if you're interested in being a fashion-forward cruiser and want to walk the runway there, she will be there to give her dreadfully honest opinion about what your attire is.
I'm going to have to do that.
I know.
I'm going to have to do that one night. Maybe I think we're going to have a formal night. You were telling me that the other day that we're going to
Yes.
have a formal night aboard our cruise. Maybe that's when I will break out my best and get critiqued by Miss DeVille. And I'm very excited for that to happen.
Exactly. The other fun thing that she'll be involved in is if she's around and she hears the Cruella de Vil song, which she feels is not written correctly, she's going to recruit guests to, make some appropriate changes to the song and sing it the way she feels it should be.
Can't wait. It's
I
so
know.
fun. That sounds so much fun. Like that's it. I mean, there's so many of these. I don't know how we're going to get out of these lounges ever because there's so much fun to be had on board these lounges.
Yes. And some of these things, I think they're going to be out and about on the ship as well.
Oh yeah, from the parks, if you've been lucky enough to run into Cruella in the parks, how amazing she's going to be. I can only imagine it's going to be that and more so.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, the theming on this lounge, and to have the spotted piano that looks like the Dalmatian, it fits, and it's just a cool place to be. And like you said, there are times you can have maybe like optional. They have on the shorter cruises, they have optional dress up nights, and not necessarily have to be formal, but some people do like to get dressed up, and this would be a fun place to go sit and.
I don't care if you have a one night cruise. If you want to get dressed up on a cruise, get dressed up.
That's true.
It's your cruise. Spend it the way you want to spend it. So if you want to go out to the nines, go for it. Do it. Absolutely. Bring a tux, rent a tux, whatever.
Yeah.
Do it.
Exactly. So why don't we move on to another of the lounges, and one of the things we've seen, especially before with the Treasure, is kind of incorporating some of the theming from the parks, or park attractions, and they will fit into this theming of as well of the villains and heroes. But here they have the Cask and Cannon, which is their pirate life at sea, kind of themed after the Pirates of the Caribbean. It will be also like the designated sports bar in there, so you can get together with some of your fellow cruisers and cheer on your favorite teams as they televise them there. Again, we saw another one of the signature drinks, the one for this particular lounge, which is called the Dead Man's Chest. It's actually kind of an experience for two people, because they do make two drinks. And it's made with Zacapa 23 Solera rum, pineapple lime juice, agave nectar, and coconut froth. And it's presented in a special chest complete with gold coins. But if you're somebody adventurous, this one really was a cool looking pair of drinks, and they even had, I guess, I'm sure they used something like liquid nitrogen, but it comes out looking very.
The presentation when you open up the chest to have these drinks appear before you is it's presentation. It's all about it, and it's great.
Yeah, but I mean, the decor and the details that they have, not just on around the lounge, but like, again, if you're looking on YouTube, the ceiling, how they have the antique looking maps and things. It's just that immersive feeling into someplace special.
Yeah, I feel like you've been transported aboard, part of a pirate ship,
right?
While you're on this amazing cruise, and I have a feeling it'll be a very popular area, especially on Pirate Night. It'll be very popular many nights, but Pirate Night, forget it. It's going to be incredible to see everybody all decked out in their pirate gear and going to Cask and Cannon for sure.
That's a good point. Now, another attraction themed lounge that they have there, and they also introduced it on the Treasure, and people just love this, is the Haunted Mansion Parlor. And it has that nostalgic feel and the nods to the attraction. This is an adults only bar, and as we said, it's a favorite on the Treasure. It does have some entertaining. You look puzzled.
I thought it was adults only in the evening, but during the day, kids can come in.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It does have some different types of things you can do. And I know recently announced with whether you have a Magic Band Plus, or what do they call it on the ship, the
Disney Band Plus.
Disney
Yes.
Band Plus, you can have some added fun in terms of like ghost hunting, etc., with your Magic Band Plus, or Disney Band Plus on the ship, so that it just has some additional fun features. What it is, it kind of is like an entire show that lasts about 45 minutes. So no matter when you enter, you'll be either at the beginning or in the middle, but you can stay long enough to continue to enjoy it.
Yeah, which is about the time you'll want for a drink or maybe
Right.
two while you're in there and exploring. And it should be, again, everybody said great things about it aboard the Treasure. I'm looking forward to experiencing on the Destiny.
Exactly. Now, they do have a couple other lounges that they're going to be providing. One is called the Saga Lounge. Again, makes sense on a cruise which features heroes and villains. It's actually a 2-story family lounge. Again, family during the day, but at night it becomes an adult themed area. It is themed towards the Black Panther. And that's where they'll have like musical performances or game shows. I think of like, what is it? The D Lounge on the other cruises.
But it has 2 levels of seating.
At 2 levels of seatings. But as I said, what's different on this one at night, it does become an adult exclusive lounge. And they're going to have some really fun things here as well. Now, we mentioned those storytellers of Zaya and Gamble. Well, they're actually going to host a comedy show. It's called With Great Power, a Marvel comedy show. And it's going to be using like low budget props, some homemade sound effect things, and other gags, but to show some iconic scenes from the Marvel Cinematic Universe stories. But now, if you're more interested maybe in spells and incantations, well, Maleficent's going to be holding court there, and she's going to be also having her own style of show. And again, another way to have that up close experience with a villain on the ship.
Yeah, especially someone as I quote unquote fun as Maleficent can be. Maleficent can be very devious and interesting, but fun at the same time. Yes, entertaining is a good way to put it, for sure. So yeah, I mean, if you love Maleficent, you're going to have your chances to interact with Maleficent on board this ship for sure.
Exactly. Now, they also have a couple other smaller venues, like these walk-up cafes where you can get, if you want to buy some specialty coffees or whatever. And again, love the theming. One is Cafe Megara, themed towards the Hercules inspired, I guess, villain turned hero.
Yeah, and it just got kind of stuck in a bad way more than anything else. I mean, yes, sort of an anti-hero, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. But love that. And then Cafe Merida from Brave. And so again, those are 2 kind of like coffee shop areas where you can experience some of that fun and theming there.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's all about, it's about the ship. Everywhere you go, there's going to be something amazing that you're going to hit up on every turn, which you do on most Disney cruise ships. But this one sounds really special. Like, again, they're taking the theming to the next level on the ship for sure. And that's including the entertainment that's on board. We've already talked about a lot of the entertainment that's on board, but let's face it, one of the things we really, really love about being on a Disney cruise ship is the Broadway style shows that are on board. And yes, they're going to be some of the more traditional shows that you love that are kind of the greatest hits, I think, of Disney stories as well. I don't think we've gotten complete details about that yet.
Have the Frozen.
They're going to have Frozen on board. Okay, well, I don't know. All the more reason for me to love this show or this ship.
Yeah.
But then they'll also have Seize the Adventure. I would imagine is the other one that kind of gets you going to begin with, which is a fun kickoff show.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Touching.
But the real show that we're talking about, because there's always that one show on board. I mean, yes, they're going to have Frozen, the musical, on board, but there's always something new that kind of has to deal with one of the great movies from the Disney oeuvre. And for this one, well, it's going to be Hercules, which we already told you is one of our favorite films of all time. We love it so much. And this is going to be an amazing stage show based on Hercules. And the puppet work we've seen again. Another thing they've been upping their game on is the puppet work on these stage shows, including what we saw with Moana on the Disney Treasure. Now we've seen some incredible things for what they're going to be doing aboard this ship, aboard the Disney Destiny. Show director Kevin Wilson explained that Disney Hercules will feature all the same music and characters, but that, quote, the music we were able to make a little more pop contemporary, which is interesting. We really want elements in the show to feel fresh and new, but still have the same heart and soul of the story, which is nice. I like that. There will also be a new song featured in the show, Shooting Star, which has been written by Alan Menken, David Zippel, and Diane Warren, of all people, superstars, was originally supposed to be in the film, but was never made the final cut. So it'll debut for the first time live on this show. That's great. It's amazing. Yes, the puppetry. I'm telling you, I mean, you see some of the stuff they've done it on, we call it Imagineering, I think is what they're showing it on, which you can find on YouTube, where they're taking us behind the scenes and seeing some of the puppets that are going to be aboard this. They're going to be unbelievable. I'm telling you right now, my jaw's going to drop the first time I see it.
Right. I mean, we've always, praised Disney in their use of puppetry in a very creative way, and I think for the most part, they've been kind of, on a smaller scale, like maybe being how they've done the horses and stuff in the shows. But like you said, they've really upped their game. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can kind of see a photo here of, these
it's the Hydra.
The Hydra, thank you.
Multi-headed dragon,
right?
That Hercules fights.
He's fighting, and just how large they are. I mean, there's a little snip shot at the upper right corner that shows how the head compares to the size of a human person.
We've also seen some of the puppets. They've shown some of the puppets of the Titans that are going to be out there. They're going to take it. So this is not the only puppet. That's one of the great puppets that we're going to see, but it's not the only one. Amazing stuff.
So I mean, it's just incredible. It's going to be an incredible show, I'm sure, and very unique.
I'm again, Hercules, the music, the story, everything about it, and I'm talking heroes, villains. I mean, Hades, one of the greatest villains of all time. Pain and Panic, some of the greatest henchmen of all time. And then you got Herc and Meg, and then these puppets and everything, and the music, the muses. Oh, right. I'm sold. You don't need to say anymore. I can't wait to see that show. And I want to see it over and over again.
All the songs that we love to sing, and sing along. So
I can't wait.
But that's not where the entertainment ends, especially with the theming. Now, on this ship, as they have again on the sister ship, will be the Aqua Mouse. And that is Disney's Cruise Line's attraction at sea. It's their signature attraction at sea. What makes this one really special, again, is theming. And here they're going to have a brand new storyline, sing a silly song, but they're going to have some famed Disney villains also appear in this attraction. So again, it's a great ride. It's a fun water coaster.
Yeah, it's like a water coaster. It's a water slide, but it's like a water coaster because you're kind of propelled through it.
Right. And it has things going on, so you're not just looping around and going down into a pool. You're actually being entertained along the way. And it's fun. We did it on the Wish. I loved it. And, I just thought it was so amazing to have that type of a show as you're going into this water slide.
And you'll probably pass by some of these scenes somewhat quickly at times, or you may be distracted or whatever. But the good thing is you can ride it as many times as you want. Yes, there'll probably be a queue especially on sea days when everybody's aboard the ship. But those other times you can get on board, ride it multiple times, enjoy, cool off, a nice refreshing water slide while seeing this fun show go on it's incredible. It's going to be great.
And to have its own song.
Yeah. So cool.
The other thing that they're going to be offering is it's called Disney Uncharted Adventure. And that's where you can use your mobile device and you can actually join Disney and Pixar heroes on a virtual quest throughout the ship. And it's an interactive experience. They've used that kind of technology even on the dream and fantasy category of their ships. But this is, you can use your mobile device as well, and it's always fun. You're going on, think an interesting scavenger hunt kind of thing, and it's just amazing. But again, it really sets it apart in the theming that is incorporated.
Everything about this ship sets it apart to me from what we've heard. Now, again, we haven't experienced it yet. No one outside of cast member, crew members has experienced it yet. But from everything they're saying about it, and I know it's a lot of like, hey, this is why it's great. Disney's going to tell you why it's great.
Right.
But I know what Disney has done. You know what Disney has done in the past and how they can carry this off, especially on Disney Cruise Line. And one thing after another here just strikes every chord with me. I know it does with you, Michelle. We couldn't be more excited. And that's why we are thinking this ship is the ship for us that we're going to want to sail aboard multiple times in the future.
Yeah, I mean, what's really amazing is how they are having these themes, but still hitting different people's interests. So if you like traditional Disney, you're going to get that. If you like Pixar, you're going to get that. If you're more interested in Marvel characters, you're going to get those experiences as well. And it's not just seeing things, it's the interactive, it's the immersiveness into some of these experiences. And I think that's what makes it really special.
And if you're a Marvel fan and you can't get to the Marvel Day at Sea cruise, this is going to be this, on many of the sailings, you get your chances to meet and greet with Marvel characters, but this is going to be much more. There's going to be more focus around Marvel in this ship. It's going to be the next thing to a Marvel Day. By the way, which you should do if you're a Marvel fan, you should do a Marvel Day at Sea cruise. But this is going to be you'll be able to experience it throughout. But the entire thing, you're right. From traditional Disney animation, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, everything that you love within that company, within this Walt Disney company, is going to be encompassed in this good versus evil or good and evil ship. That is it's storytelling. It's all about storytelling. This ship has storytelling, stem to stern,
right?
100%. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh, I know. And we didn't even get into the kids area and stuff, which adults can also experience during the open houses, which we would encourage you to do that as well. Can't
wait. Very excited for it. I hope we've got you even more excited for your chance to sail aboard, or whether you're already booked. Maybe you're doing the maiden voyage. Maybe you have a sailing coming up here in a couple months. Maybe it's a couple years away and you're waiting for the time for you. Hopefully we have you excited for the ship, because I know we are, right, Michelle?
Exactly.
And just know, no matter when you're booking aboard, your destiny awaits.